Everybody's had enough, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, no, I appreciate everybody being here earlier, truly, just as we reviewed the audit, some of the tax filing options, that sort of thing. We really do appreciate the opportunity, of course, as an accounting firm to be here and to perform the audit for Florence Gardens. Again, as mentioned, we went on for a little bit this morning. We certainly had some recommendations, for Florence Gardens to help you improve your operations. Some of you are new, of course, joining us right now. But we, as a third party, we do a lot for a lot of associations. And I'll tell you right now, it seems like you have a wonderful management team here, between Maury and Pam, a little bit questionable, kidding, and Molly. I'm eating about Pam, she's going to be mad at me. But you really do have a great team here, you do. And again, as I spoke with Molly in relation to the accounting standards, principles of this industry, it's clear to me that the team at HomeCo knows what they're doing. You're in good hands from an accounting perspective. Do I know what they're doing operationally? Let's be frank, I don't. I don't audit operations. Sorry, Maureen. I don't audit operations. I look at the financial statements. I look at the fun stuff with Neil, right? My co-padre in crime here. We come in and look at the financial statements, look at your budgets, review your board of directors minutes, that sort of thing, to make sure that everything is as it should be. And as I said earlier this morning, we are very, very happy to report that after our audit, the blood, sweat, and tears this year, there were a few tears, I think, right, Neil? There was a couple. As the blood, sweat, and tears were over, we issued an unqualified opinion. And again, I want to reiterate, that's huge. As a firm, I don't want you to think that we go in and put the good housekeeping stamp of approval, rubber stamp, on all financial statements we see. We don't. This year, again, we actually had to disclaim an opinion on some financial statements, where we said, these financial statements are so bad, we cannot provide an opinion. We cannot opine on these statements. We had quite a number of communities where we actually had to withdraw, where we said, we don't even want to be associated with this. This is so bad. I'm sorry. Find another firm. We don't want to do it. Again, so it's huge to be able to come in here at Florence Gardens, recognizing the struggles that you had for 2016, and still go through the work and the process that was necessary to issue an unqualified opinion. That's huge. Going forward, again, I'm very, very pleased with what I see. I went up to HomeCo, I'll mention again, went up to their offices about 2 weeks ago. It was great. 2-hour drive, driving through the wonderful Arizona desert, and then I got to eat a Panera bread up there, which was great, afterwards. So very memorable, but it was great going into HomeCo's offices and seeing their operations and seeing exactly what's going on. I feel very, very comfortable with who you're with. I know a lot of people actually at HomeCo, whether they know it or not. I think Pam knows. I know a lot of the managers, a lot of different people over there that have a great team. Other than that, again, we do appreciate the opportunity to audit your financial statements. We went in depth this morning. I don't want to do that to you again, especially everybody that's been here. Maybe in part of the last thing I will encourage you to do is continue to improve your operating working capital position in English. Let's get more money in operations, okay? Let's also get more money in reserves, okay? I'm an independent third party here. I don't have a horse in the race, okay? I don't have a horse in this race. I don't have an agenda, okay? But I see thousands of financial statements every year. Your financial statements are okay. They're not horrible. I go into communities every year where communities have not even had a reserve study done. You talk to them about reserves and they say, what? And then they have 20 miles of roads that they're responsible for maintaining, where they have a clubhouse, and they've never put any money aside. And you almost want to cry. You almost want to cry. And that might be a little bit dramatic, but it's true. As an outside consultant, you almost want to cry, because you realize that all the residents in that audience at some point are going to have a $5,000 to $10,000 special assessment, and they don't even realize it. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And is your community in that position? I don't think so. Will you be in that position if you don't turn things around? Yes. That's why we're saying, please don't. I'm in an association myself. I don't like it when my assessments are raised. I'm just like you, I'm trying to pay my bills, right? I don't like it. But I wouldn't push back too much on your board of directors and management, and they say, hey, we might need to raise assessments this year 3% or 5% or whatever to strengthen the financial position. They're trying to do what's best for you. I came on my board of directors of my 84-unit community about 5 years ago, and I was hated. And the reason I was hated is because the board of directors was kind of a good old boys club in the association that I moved into. And everybody was trying to keep assessments artificially low because nobody wanted to pay the assessment. And I moved in and I said, where's the money to repair these streets? I don't see any street replacement money. Oh, those are going to last for 30 years. The assessments, the people that are members of the community at that time, they're going to pay for that. I says, wait a minute, so we're driving on the streets today, but in 20 years from now, those people are the ones that are going to pay for the wear and tear that you perpetuated on these streets. Yes. I said, no, that's not how it works. As members of communities right now, we pay for the repairs and maintenance, the deterioration right now. And so I was instrumental in my community of creating a reserve fund so that we could now repair and replace the streets in my little community. And guess what? For the first 2 years, I was a pariah. I can't believe it, Mr. Hanson. Our assessments went from $600 a month to $900. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. A year, from 600 to 900. And I was a pariah. That's a lot of money, right? Hanson, look what you did to us. But what's interesting is the last couple of years is we've had some major street projects that have had to happen in my community. And I've had people that have come up to me and said, Mr. Hanson, thank you for moving in. Thank you for telling us to raise assessments. Thank goodness we've had the money to make these repairs, okay? That's a real life example. I don't want to see that here. Here at Florence Gardens, again, I'll sit down. Continue to strengthen your operating reserve funding and reserve funding levels. It's a little painful every year, 3% or 5%, I get it. But you don't want to get to a year where it's really painful, where you have some massive special assessment. You know, you've seen communities this year that have had massive assessments, haven't you? Yeah. Now, what's the biggest you think you've seen this year?
Increase?
Not assessment increase, but a special assessment.
Gosh, $1,000 a unit.
$1,000 unit, right? The board of directors just said, we're sorry, we haven't set this money aside, write me a $1,000 check. Raise your hand if you want this board to do that. Don't see a lot of takers. Anyway, those are my comments. Again, just encourage you to continue to strengthen your financial position, maintain your common areas. It does affect your property values, I promise you. People in the industry right now are becoming more astute. People are not going to buy into a community. They're not going to buy your unit when they know there's no money in reserves and there's potentially a special assessment coming on down the road.